Dear my Eritrean brothers and sisters, so how do you find the narrative I put my life history, you know, our history? So like my like jungle military trouser in the jungle, my friend, in the mountain, you know, all that kind of gear, my friend. That's the thing, you should have that attitude. So how do you find my narrative about this Eritrean, our history, talking by ourselves, like, you know, our upbringing, just talking our history, like, you know, because we got people like ALEMSEGED, TESFAY, just only one man, you know, talking about history. 5 million people, history, one man, as if we are a database, like, you know. It's really crazy, isn't it, my friend? You know, one man talking in the mouth of 5 people, 5 million population. So that was my background, you know. So obviously, if you're an Eritrean, my friend, okay, you gotta have the communication skill to talk, tell your story, okay. You don't have to give no power to other people, like, you know. This is our life, you know, and this is our kids' life as well, okay. So that was my my upbringing, how it was, and you know, I'm trying to tell my story, the whole, all rounded, you know. So that's our upbringing, and so today I'm going to talk about current historians, you know, all this communist kind of mindset. They got this kind of like, you know, I don't know how to put it, like, you know, is it arrogance or paternalistic kind of you know, narration, telling all 5 million population history by one person. We got only one historian narrating our history to the whole globe in English. Even his communication skill is really crap, my friend. Like, you know, like, you know, a lot of book publishers were rejecting his book because nowadays in the West, you know, nobody wants to sell books about wars, my friend. You know, all the Westerners and you know all these people from the whole globe, they didn't want to show their kids about wars. You know, obviously, I try to block my kids from watching horror, trauma, you know, movies or maybe historical films about wars, my friend. Nobody wants about war. What people now in this current contemporary world, what they want, the biggest market is business, my friend, okay? Entertainment, okay? Social life, soft skill, working for big conglomerate corporate companies, okay? Music, communication with the whole, how many population do we have in the world? 8 billion? With all of them, maybe using English, maybe French, maybe Arabic, or even Tigrinya or Amharic. That's what people want, my friend, okay? So we go all these our leaders. Sorry, if you excuse me, I will just put the charger. Yes, my friends. So the whole world wants people to talk about business, my friend, global business. Our kids having that prosperity life, you know, mingling and joining the whole world traffic of communication, you know, and that's what people want. They don't want to read books about history, about war. nothing about, you know, trauma. That's the reason why they say, no, we're not going to publish a book, you know. Nobody, they don't have any readers. Every nation, if you write war books, nobody's interested in them, my friend. People want music, my friend. Music is global language, international language, okay? Entertainment. It connects people from all over the world. It doesn't matter what religious faith you have, what culture you have, what language, what looks, what color. That's the power, okay? So, because they did show about Mr. ALEMSEGED TESFAY book. The book wrote about Eritrean history. And so today I'm going to talk about this communist mind setup that we had in Eritrea and Ethiopia. Like, you know, all our leaders are stuck. The Russian Revolution, all the Chinese people, my friend, they are making multi-billion, trillion pounds business. All these, you know, middle class, high class, you know, top millionaire people making serious business, my friend. Multi-billionaires, you know. You got a lot of millions of Chinese people, billionaires, millionaires, okay? All that debunked idea from the past, communists, like, you know, Leninist, Marxist idea, like, you know, all this derby from derbies, derby, you know, that has gone, my friend, forever, you know. So the EPLF have go, they were trying to use communism as a tactic to get into power and to get stronghold on all of us, you know, always to control us for the rest of their lives, you know. Their kids take over, we become like servants, okay? So they used to call all our people Derbawian. So this derby was taken from Derby in UK, like, you know. So you had all this King Charles, you got all this royal oak. He was hiding in a royal oak, and he ran away. So you had all these royalist people fighting against the parliamentarians in Derby, okay? So all the EPLF from day one, they had all that conservative idea. They want to be kings, my friend, rulers forever, okay? All this, like, you know, we want justice, democracy, well, like a sleep service. It's a fake. It's not right, you know. So when they talk about all this history and telling us, like, you know, Derbawian from Derby, it's really crazy, you know. And they tell you, like, bourgeois, like, you know, all this French word. So bourgeois, these people from, you know, all these city people, like, you know, people creating businesses, all these middle class, like, you know, all these entrepreneurs, you know, creating a lot of jobs, service economy, knowledge economy, banking, services, everything. These are called bourgeois, and bourgeois. Like, you know. So that's the kind of language the EPLF was using against all these people, like, you know, business people, you know, creating a lot of business. They create jobs for employment, like, you know, all these people from peasants, farmers, everything, like, you know, from villagers and all these nomadic people, like, you know, sheep, goat tenders, and you know, they were creating jobs in cities, small towns, big towns, Asmara, everything, my friend. Okay, see, these are people, bourgeois. You need it in every country, my friend. Okay, even the Russians, they got it, the Chinese, everyone, my friend. So the idea is already gone forever. We're not gonna start in time. Like, you know, these people were using it as a means to the end to get power, like as a tactic to make us like a service forever, serfdom. All this proletarianism, all these surface, you know, peasants. So they were saying, like, you know, Shekaro, like, you know, these are people, they don't have anything that they own, my friend. No land, no house, no shelter over their roofs. So they have to always carry, my friend, their sweat, their labor. You know, so they have to sell their labor, what they have, my friend, you know. So these are working class, and obviously, like, you know, all these communist people like Lenin and, you know, all these Marx people, they got really bad connotation against these people, like, you know. So the whole idea was to make the whole people live in this panacea of this heavenly communist, like everyone is equal, my friend. Like, you know, have you heard this Animal Farm from like that kind of stuff, like that kind of thing? Try and trick people into this kind of panacea. You make it like this religious faith. All these Russian people during the communist era, they didn't have faith, they didn't have God, they didn't know nothing, my friend, except that God of thunder with a hammer. He hammers if you mess up, my friend, you know. You got power, you mess up, hammer. That's the symbol of Thor, or sort of Thor. Simply EPLF, all of them, they use it, you know. If you mess up, they use the sickle. They cut you off like this, threshing barley or, you know, sorghum or all that kind of stuff, like that. So they were the symbols of these communist, barbaric, terrorist people, like, you know, who got us into all this red terror, you know, all this bloodshed in Eritrea and Ethiopia, all these 50 years, you know, all these 100 years been that mess, social engineering. Anyway, I'm not gonna dwell on that. I did talk last time. So Mr. ALEMSEGED, TESFAY, I think, to be honest, I think he graduated in the US, his degree. I think he did some kind of course in Leeds University in UK as well. But his communication skill is just really crap, my friend. Like, you know, he is good, maybe good hero, educated to our local people, but he hasn't got the skills, my friend. Our young people, our kids, you know, to get employment in the West, my friend. You don't expect us to go back to Eritrea as Mara, maybe Kashbarka, Masawa, or other. They always say, like, you know, you just make a farm. You don't know where you're gonna sell it. You're not gonna give them permission to farm the land and export to the wider world. No way, my friend. You have to be a peasant. What's the word? Pluterator. You're not gonna be bourgeois, like, you know, people who exploit the other people, capitalists. They call it Rosamalawan, okay? Derbawian. So this is the kind of like mindset they had. That's why we got only one historian. So what they're trying to do is, like, you know, they're creating a machine society. Have you watched it, all this Terminator, like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and all these sci-fi futuristic movies, like, you know, about creating this future world where people are gonna be like machines, you know, moving machines. That's what they created in Eritrea. They made us machine. So why have it? Because this black box, black box, it's got input and output. So because they control it so much, what they do is they got that input stimulator. So they give us an input, maybe for pain, happiness, everything. They manage it because like a rat, like this circuitry, kind of like a machine, like a computer. Input, okay, processor, all this Pentium processor, all this, like. So you got the output, my friend. If you're happy, you clap and you dance, like, you know, that's output. If you're sad, you are always living, working as a labor job. You're sad, my friend, you know, that's our output, sadness. So so like machinists, they made us machine people. That's why we got only one person, oracle. Oracle, using all these ancient Greek oracles, like, you know, you got all this, what's her name, you got very famous, like Delphi, like PYTHIA. She's a lady, so she was an oracle in the ancient Greek world. Okay, so that is the kind of mentality. So they make us all as human machines, okay, like this circuitry, like this PCs. You connect them together. So you got this master slave, master one, my friend. That's the data warehouse, like, you know. So the oracle, my friend, oracle. Now you got Microsoft SQL Server, all that kind of stuff, like, you know. So you got the oracle, all-knowing God, Mr. ALEMSEGED TESFAY. Only one person. He's an operating system. Just to give you an analogy into a machine world, okay. So see, he is operating system. All the other people are like applications, machine. They kill it like a rat. He died. So this is like a Terminator kind of thing. Like, you know, this is what they did 50 years. They made us machine. They don't have no emotion. People, they don't have emotion. no remorse, no sympathy, you know, no kind of whatsoever. It's really barbaric society, like machine. You don't feel no pain for your compatriots, for your brothers and sisters, like, you know, why you want this, like, you know, machine, circuitry. So they connect all these people. They made all this sour, all that kind of, for 32 years, my friend, okay? They made all these people like a machine. Order taking, you don't talk, they don't have anything, they don't have no job whatsoever, my friend, peasant. They don't have anything that they call theirs. No ownership in life, nothing. You don't own your wife, you don't own your girlfriend, you don't own a farm, you don't own a house, you don't own a car, my friend, you don't own your stuff. Worse than serfdom, worse than slavery. So, so they're looking for 32 years, my friend, okay? You don't trade with other people, Sudan, Ethiopia, like, you know, you don't trade to India, you don't trade to the Arab world. You're a machine. You are living as a machine. So you go all this historian, Mr. Amani, sorry, Mr. ALEMSEGED TESFAY. He is so he's, just to use analogy of all about this black box, machine black box, okay? So he is the driver, historian, the database, like, you know, the whole master, key holder of every history of 5 million population. That's, I never seen such a saddest kind of thing, my friends. It's really crazy, wacky, you know. So this is the kind of thing like you need a hammer, boom, all this kind of fall. So they took all this PYTHIA oracle from the ancient Egyptians, like, you know, sorry, ancient Greek people, 700 years ago, 800 years ago, okay? So you got all these oracles from the past. So this lady, she's an oracle, okay, like a goddess oracle. So she goes to this kind of like, you know, steam, maybe in the in the rivers, in the mountains of shall we call it Olympia mountains in Greek? I don't know what the thing is. So she gets into all this kind of like, you know, narcotics, maybe all this well, what is all this kind of drug inducing kind of like, you know, maybe herb, maybe cannabis, like, you know, so ecstasy, all that kind of stuff. So she can predict the future. She give you all the prediction, my friend. Prophet, oracle. Yeah. So you got all this Delphi. So you got all this PYTHIA. Okay. So that's the right word. She is the number one, very well established religion in the ancient Greek. Okay. So this man, Mr. ALEMSEGED TESFAY, really short man, he is PYTHIA, male PYTHIA, oracle. You know, driving all these people, all these circuitry machine people. That's to the extent they made us, my friend. Kind of like, you know, all this like Terminator machine, like, you know, you don't go to Sudan, you don't go to India, you don't go to UK, you don't go to Arab world. You're a machine. You don't have a house. You don't own a mill. You don't have a horse. You don't have nothing. You don't own yourself. No ownership. Worse than serfdom. Worse than all this Russian, all this like, you know, all this SARS in Russia in the UK. You got all this like, you know, people, they don't own nothing, like, you know, the worse than that, my friend. Worse than the French before the French Revolution. Machines, circuitry. So you got all these sci-fi kind of like books that you read. All these like Terminator movies. Machine, circuitry, black box, all these black box connected together. We're talking about human beings, my friend, all right? People with emotions, very dignified creatures, okay? So you got this PYTHIA, which is Mr. ALEMSEGED TESFAY, only one historian. So we are like a database, dot entry into his database as an oracle. Just to give you an analogy, like a machine black box, okay? We are just nothing machine. So that's his book, my friend. Who on earth do you think he's gonna buy his book? Who on earth do you expect a publisher to publish his book? He must be crazy. He was like, no publishers want us. Are you crazy, my friend? Which world are you living in? Like, you know, you are bringing this book to UK, our kids into top universities, colleges, high schools, my friend. And you know, you got all these people, Africans, my friend. You are like just a laughing stock. I mean, people must be quacking up like crazy. Look at that short man, like, you know, he just crying out, like, you know, because no publisher wants to sell his book. Crazy, you know. So that's the extent, my friend. People really mushing. So he wants to be like Oracle, Delphi, or maybe PYTHIA. Okay. So that's the kind of thing, my friend. Okay. I think we have to criticize them properly, my friend. Okay. So they call all these people derby. Obviously, like, you know, because Mr. I was listening to Mr. Zemeral Johannes telling Mr. ALEMSEGED TESFAY to translate his book from Tigrinya into English. Hey, the whole world is open, my friend. You are open to criticism, my friend. Hey, this is not ERITREA, my friend. This is not Sawa. This is not Sahel. People, highly educated people, extremely independent people, my friend. People who got a brain, emotion, a feeling, my friend. Okay? People who connection with the whole globe. 8 billion population, you know, Chinese, Arabs, Africans, Indians, the whole people, my friend. We are human being community, the whole world, okay? You're not, we not like you machine, like these rats, like, you know, like guinea pigs, like machine circuitry, and you become an oracle, like this PYTHIA or Delphi. You just tell, hey, this is the book, guys, okay? That's the book. I'm an operating system. You machinists, you are telling me I'm the Terminator. If I want, I can annihilate you. That's the thing, my friend. That's the mindset, my friend. It's really sad. Like, you know, I don't think people are like clapping because they don't have no say, my friend. They kill the creativity of Eritreans, self-confidence of Eritreans, like, you know, self-confidence of Eritreans to express their minds, our God-given dignity, self-confidence, man. We are really dignified people, my friend, okay? We don't just like crap your machine security black box. You don't ever dare to just to even talk such a shameful thing, okay? You are living in 21st century where it's really, it just makes me really emotional, you know? So obviously these people, the policymakers, all of them are going to listen to this. So this is the thing for us, okay? It's really a big dilemma, okay? Now we cannot even make a business in our country. 21st century, you got all this all this fiber optic connection via Red Sea, South Africa, Indian Ocean, all internet work together. In passing by Red Sea from Arab countries, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, we don't have no Sudan. They got that fiber optic. We're not allowed to use that because you want to create machine society, or society like operating system. Russian shooting, like, you know, it's really it's very dehumanizing, you know. It's a shame. This man just like, he just like, you know, yeah, the publishers, they wouldn't publish my book, like, you know. It's really crazy. The world, it doesn't listen to us. You must be fool, like, you know. Who do you think you are, my friend? You know, it's really, it makes it really emotional. Like, these people, they don't have no feeling, no remorse, no emotion to their compatriots, like, you know. Like, you know, it's really, anyway, I think I have to limit myself, you know. So this is the kind of thing, all these people, like, you know, using them like this useless chief executives, like, you know, just to play with our lives, like, you know, as if we were just nothing, worthless, like a rat, like a fly. Every pharmaceutical company in the world can hire them just to make an experiment on us. Any Scandinavian countries, American, Germans, Russians, everything, Chinese. Okay? So this is the kind of it's really sad, my friend. Like, you know, think about it. Like, you know, one historian for 5 million population. Have you ever seen such a saddest thing in life? You know, in the UK, how many historians do you think they got? In Ethiopia, whole Africa, Nobel Prize winners, you know, literature. They talk openly, my friend, self-expression, writing, talk in English. These people, they don't even have the guts to communicate with the African leaders in AU, communicate their ideas. They just lock all these people in this sour, you know, these people, the kids, they don't know nothing about their local history, about their parents, grandparents, their roots, like, you know, their villages, their warada, our raja, their region. They don't have nothing. So this single man has got the key for the whole issue of 5 million population. All these kids, they are fished out from their village. They're located in the Sawa. They don't know nothing except this president. Hail, Rush. What's the name? Like this German leader. He's got that funny mustache, like, you know, like a whisker, cat whisker. Hell yeah, whatever you say, God is acceptable because you are an oracle. You are Mr. Delphi. You are Mr. PYTHIA. It's really sad, like, you know. So this one book, like a template, a database for all of us. We're not supposed to know about my daddy's history, his parents, you know, his surrounding area, all the villages where he grew up, my grandparents, from my mom's side, the whole village, everything, my friend. You're not supposed to know that. You are only supposed to know the great revolution of Eritrea, Communist Party, my friend, the derby. So, like, you know, the derby from the King Charles, you got all this Oliver Cromwell, like, you know, he was a protector of the UK. 8 years or 10 years, like, you know, so you got that kind of thing, like, you know, so he was deposited, and you got all this derby in Derby, the people who were royalists fighting for the parliamentarians, like, so until the king comes, like, you know, so he took over, power restored, he got the king, all this royalty thing, like, you know. so he calls us Derbawen. He just borrowed that idea from the UK. You know, it's a Tigrinya now. It's very famous. You got all this PDF charter Congress, the whole organizational thing. You got all this from this chartisan of this UK movement in 1850 something, like, you know, you got that plaque in Kennington Park, like, you know, everything just copy and paste. They tell you, like, you know, Akaidra Gobier, like, you know, from this UK movement, you know, kind of like, you know, they always try to be like a sheep, but inside they are wolf. What was it called? I think it's a Fabian movement. They took that from that thing, you know. Akaida Gobier means like we walk so slowly, like a tortoise, to give that panacea, perfect world revolution. Then everyone is gonna be, the world is gonna be perfect, nothing. Everyone is equal. There's no exploitation. A perfect panacea like heaven, like a paradise, Ethiopia. A perfect paradise heaven. Yeah, so that's the kind of thing. It's really sad, I know. Anyway, so this is the kind of thing, like, you know, they just copy from somewhere. They don't have nothing of their own. So they want to be kings forever. So they were conservatives all the way from from day one. They just moved from Addis Ababa University to the field. But they have to use communism, you know, as a drug, as a panacea. Like, you know, all these people, they just talk about Lenin, Marxist, you know, all that kind of stuff, like crazy. They made all the people like a machine, black box circuitry. So they connect them into wire. So you got this oracle, Mr. ALEMSEGED, TESFAY, educated in the US. I think the US, they should like take his maybe the degree, maybe PhD or whatever he's got, masters. You know, it's really a shame, my friend. Like, in this day and age, this guy telling, like, you know, he's studying in the University of America and telling, like, you know, one historian for the whole of 5 million population. It's really sad, like, you know. People now, you walk from home, from Africa, from Kenya. How many millionaire Kenyans there are? From Kenya, from Nairobi, from the village. Working for Chinese companies, Indians, Europeans, Americans, Canadians, everyone from their village, tending their goats and their sheep. In Eritrea, no, we're supposed to be merchants. We are only supposed to be abided by this book. It's ALEMSEGED TESFAY. He is the only historian telling our history for the whole of 5 million population. We're not supposed to know about history, oral history, in our families, in our houses, like from your mom's side, from your dad's side. That's what they do. They just fish you out when you are 15, 16 from college. They take you to Sawa and calculate you like a machine, because you got this really pure white brain mind. So they twist you. Then they make a black box input output machine. So this book, seriously, I think I'm not gonna recommend any Eritrean from the people I know not to read it. Like, this is really sad, okay? We're not machines, okay? We are human beings and highly educated in the European countries, wherever we are, okay? So I think Mr. Zemirati wants sound is kind of like more well, not down to earth, but more kind of like, you know, he just tries to make his ideas open for people to criticize, you know, see the critical point of view, the good side of it. I don't have any bad words against him because I did read his really nice factual statistical book about this Italian colonization, like, you know. So I'm not gonna say any bad words, but obviously, like, you know, these people are like getting old and they got their kids, okay? They're not doing as a favor, my friend. We live in the West End. We're doing very well, my friend. We are soldiers, yeah. We are very independent people, my friend. When you talk about Eritrean independence, it's us, okay? Not in Eritrea. It's really sad, like, you know. We celebrate 24 May with style, my friend. With style, independence. A soldier, field marshal, generals in Europe, not in Eritrea. Okay? Nobody can just tell us, like, you know, all this kind of rubbish from Ethiopia, wherever it is, like, you know, not from Eritrea. We talk our mind, you know, highly articulate people. We communicate with all the rest of the people in the globe, and we talk our story. You know, we have our issues, daily fighters from racism, prejudice, wherever, from you, from Eritrea, from Ethiopia, from Europe, everywhere. But we're fighting, my friend, like everyone else. Like, you know, that's our life. That's our independence, my friend. Yeah. So that's the book. My take about Mr. ALEMSEGED TESFAY. Like, you know, that's how I see it. And obviously, all of you guys, Eritreans, you're gonna have your own critical take on it. To be honest, I read the other book about Eritrean Federation that he wrote in Tigrinya. I read it. There are some really nice factual information, but for my kids, my friend, I do have to protect my kids, my friend. I don't want them to be slaves like this machine circuitry, my friend. They are open in this big ocean of world ideas, brains, my friend, you know, mindset up, you know, values, you know, highly philosophical, intellectual, technological, economical, everything, my friend. The flow of cultures, ocean of 8 billion population. It's really amazing, okay? So limiting our kids into this thing, like, you know, this 50 years evolution, you know, this Russian revolution, like, you know, we got a lot of disabled people, like, you know what do they call to the disabled people? They call them